I've always been a bit interested in checking out one of the many filters PrismFX has to offer, but I've never made the commitment to buy one. That is, until I found that they were releasing their very own variable ND filter with hard stops for only $99. So the question is it actually any good? Let's start off with build quality. The PrismFX variable ND is an all glass and metal construction that feels sturdy. It weighs about the same as any other ND filter I've ever used, so I guess you could say it is lightweight, like they claim. There are nicely ribbed segments around the edges of the filter that allow you to get a solid hold when unmounting it from your lens. This is a huge plus in comparison to other filters on the market that only have smooth edges and make it borderline impossible to remove from your lens once you have it mounted on. PrismFX even added a front filter thread the same size as the filter itself, so you can mount additional filters on top with ease. So if you were someone who wanted to get the new Polar Pro variable NDs with mist built in, but didn't want to dish out that much cash, in theory you could get the PrismFX variable ND and a separate mist filter and save a few bucks. Just keep in mind this filter only is available in two sizes, 77mm and 82mm respectively. This filter also does in fact have hard stops to keep you from creating that terrible X pattern variable ND filters we're known for. They even label each stop with traditional ND values such as 0.3, 0.9, and so on, all the way up to totaling to 7 stops in light reduction. Though I myself wasn't able to get 7 stops, but more on that later. The standard ND labels are cool, though at this price point, this filter seems aimed more at vloggers who probably don't know the difference between ND 0.3 and ND 1.2, so maybe a more straightforward approach like Polar Pro would have been better. Now as far as adjusting the filter goes, the ND ring feels smooth, so no complaints there. This filter also attaches nicely without any of that grainy feeling many cheaper filters have when you're threading them onto your lens. But let's move on to image quality. So right off the bat, yes, this filter does add a color tint to your image. PrismFX wording is a bit confusing on their site when they claim no color shift throughout the different stops of ND, though this claim is technically true once the filter is attached. But don't take that to mean that there isn't any color shift at all when you first install the filter. But a simple custom white balance quickly fixes this issue. In terms of sharpness, I myself didn't notice any significant changes, but if you're going to be pixel peeping, I'm sure it's there. The only real issue I have with the filter is that it does not in fact give you 7 stops of light reduction, like PrismFX claims. Set to the maximum FD of 2.1 or about 7 stops, I was only able to get to about 5 to 5 1/3 stops of reduction, going from an aperture of f/22 to f4 or f3.5 in certain situations. While on the low end, set to 0.3 or 1 stop, I actually got about 1 2/3 stops of reduction, going from f5 to f2.8, so well above the 1 stop I was expecting. Perhaps my testing is wrong, but these are significantly less and more than advertised. There is also a noticeable vignetting once you get closer to the highest possible ND, and yeah, these can be distracting for certain scenes. But for only $99, is this something that I can forgive? Maybe. There are a few good options for variable ND filters these days from well-known brands that all have hard stops and all seemingly get closer to their claim reduction ratings as far as my research has shown. Though PrismFX does have the cheapest option yet. The next cheapest being from Freewell for about $110, but that one does give you far more options in terms of filter size. I think that if you're going in knowing that you're only going to get about a maximum of 5 stops of reduction and well above 1 stop on the low end, that there is vignetting and that there is a color shift, well, I think it's a pretty good deal for $99. Just don't expect it to perform as well as higher end variable NDs like the ones from Polar Pro. So anyways, that was my review of the PrismFX Cinema Hard Stop Variable ND filter. I hope you liked it and I hope you found it useful. If you're thinking about picking one of these up, please let me know in the comments down below, or if you know of any other filter I should check out, let me know that as well. And if you made it this far, leave 3 sun emojis down below. And if you really liked the video, please consider subscribing. I really appreciate it. It really means a lot to me. But as always, my name is Joshua Munoz. Stay sexy, and I'll see you sometime.